6, I'm Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest coming in. Let's see what we are tracking for you right now. CBI orders inquiry into Sonam Wangchuk's NGO. Did Wangchuk borrow Nepal's anarchist toolkit? Delhi police goes all out to track Predator Baba. FIR reveals new details on this. And new details have emerged in the Dharmasthala mass burial hoax plot. India has test-fired the Agni Prime from a rail-based launcher for the first time. Big boost for our defense. Prime Minister Modi says government to manufacture everything from chips to ships. And Trump claims he was the target of a triple sabotage at the UN, says Secret Service will be probing this. All right, let's move ahead, viewers. A big story of the day. The recent violence in Ladakh has sparked controversy over comparisons drawn between the protests and the movements in Nepal. Ladakh Lieutenant Governor Kavindra Gupta alleged that certain groups were trying to destabilize the region by inciting people and drawing parallels with youth-led movement and protests we have seen in Nepal and Bangladesh that toppled governments. The police are now probing the angle of a foreign hand in the violence, which has raised concerns about external influences worsening the situation. So a lot happening there. Here's a report highlighting all the developments we are tracking.
Ladakh is on the edge. A day after violence spilled onto the streets, arson, anger and complete chaos.
Huge damage to the BJP office here in the Ladakh. Also, we have seen that the restrictions have been imposed in the entire area, and this is the ground floor which have been destroyed completely. And you can see it's not possible to identify the things, which things they are, but it looks that the complete hall of this building has been destroyed by the protesters. Yesterday also we have seen that these are some pamphlets of the party which have also been burnt by the protesters here. Also, we have seen that the huge deployment of the forces here in the Ladakh.
Curfew has been imposed. Ladakh is under a security blanket. Lieutenant Governor called for a security meeting earlier today. Raids are underway at multiple places. 48 people have been arrested for violence.
This is the area where we have seen that the restrictions have been imposed in this entire area. No civilian movement and no movement of any gathering is allowed without any proper permission by the district administration here in the Ladakh. And we have seen that the more than 40 individuals have been arrested during night raids by the Ladakh police. And so there is possibility that these individuals were involved in yesterday's violence here in the Ladakh. Also, it's the big win for the forces here, as we have seen that the more than 40 persons have been arrested by the Ladakh police.
But the scale and suddenness of violence has raised eyebrows. Central government has hinted at conspiracy. The government called it a politically motivated violence, asserting that activist Sonam Wangchuk's provocative remarks incited the mob. And meanwhile, police is now probing the angle of foreign hand in the violence. A Nepal angle has emerged. 3 Nepali nationals were injured while attacking security forces during yesterday's violence.
Here is normal, but restrictions is in the entire Ladakh, where we have witnessed that the senior officers from the CRPF and Ladakh police are on toes and they are monitoring the situation. And also they are ready to foil any attempt like yesterday we have witnessed, in which we have seen that the many security persons were also injured here, but we have seen the situation overall remains here under control. But yes, there is the deployment of the massive forces on the ground here in the Ladakh.
Ladakh is simmering, and with a foreign hand under probe, questions loom large over who is really fueling the fire.
And viewers, viewers, Delhi police goes all out to track down Chaitanya Nanda Saraswati. That is right, the molester accused of sexually harassing students of a management institute. The probe and the FIR has revealed back-to-back complaints from the institute, and the Air Force headquarters alerted the management. And that was the beginning of the undoing of the self-styled godman. Now, the Delhi police has reached the ashram premises. However, the hunt is on for the molester Baba to catch him. The luxury vehicles of the Baba have also been seized. Here's a full story so far as the molester Baba is on the run.
A shocking case from the national capital. A self-styled godman, Swami Chaitanyananda, has been charged for sexually harassing 17 female students at a private management institute. As per new reports, he had secretly installed cameras in the women's hostel. Reports say that the first FIR against the accused was filed on July 23rd by the Sri Sharda Institute. Following that, an Air Force group captain emailed the complaint to the institute on August 1st. The officer was informed that an FIR has already been filed. Then on August 4th, a fresh complaint was filed by the institute against the accused molester. According to the FIR, the accused would also force the female students to visit his room late at night, luring them with promises of trips abroad. Not just that, he would also specifically target students from economically weaker sections. The FIR claims that the students were also forced to change their name.
किस कोर्स में एडमिशन लेने के लिए आप आए थे?
MBA कोर्स में लेने के लिए आया था।
क्या आपने एडमिशन लिया था उस वक्त?
नहीं, मैंने ले नहीं पाया क्योंकि मुझे इस इंस्टीट्यूट के बारे में पता लग गया था।
क्या पता लगा?
कि ऐसे ही अच्छा नहीं इंस्टीट्यूट नहीं है, तो इसके बारे में वही बार बार जो बातें चलती रहती थी, जिसके जो मेरे सीनियर्स थे कुछ, उन्होंने बताया था यहाँ कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है।
अच्छा, उस वक्त जो डायरेक्टर थे इंस्टीट्यूट के कौन थे उस वक्त?
उस टाइम डायरेक्टर भी ये स्वामी जी बैठते थे।
वहाँ जो अंदर का एटमॉस्फेयर है उसमें आपने क्या पाया? क्या कुछ ऐसा अलग पाया?
पहले ये बेसमेंट में हुआ करता था, इनका सिस्टम जो होता है खाने टाइप में बना रखे, छोटे छोटे कैबिन्स बोलते हैं जिसको, उस तरीके से। तो समय के साथ ये रेनोवेट भी हुआ है, समय के साथ फिर रेंट पे भी यहाँ पे कई एजेंसी आई थी, तो इसमें इंस्टीट्यूट भी चलता था। तो तरीके के यहाँ पे वो स्वामी जी ने बदलाव करते रहते थे अपने तरीके से।
Delhi police has issued a lookout circular to track the accused. Amidst this, the police has also reached outside the ashram to conduct further probe.
Delhi police has lodged an FIR against a self-styled godman Swami Path, in which case what we have got to learn that there were over 30 women who have come forward and they have alleged sexual assault, and after that Delhi police has lodged an FIR in connection with the case. But right now the accused is still on the run, and Delhi police is navigating with the help of technical intelligence, and last location of the accused was found in Agra, but so far the accused has not been nabbed by the Delhi police team.
Southwest Delhi ACP Aishwarya Singh has said that a search on the premises has been initiated in accordance with the law, and all the digital evidence is being collected. A separate FIR was also registered after a car with a forged diplomatic number plate was found in the premises of Sharda Institute.
जो PSV के नॉर्थ में कंप्लेंट आई थी उसके तहत FIR दर्ज कर दी गई है, और अभी जो विक्टिम्स हैं उनके स्टेटमेंट्स लिए जा रहे हैं, और इन्वेस्टिगेशन इज़ प्रोसीडिंग एज पर लॉ। इन्वेस्टिगेशन अभी जारी है, और बाबा को ट्रेस करने का फुल एफर्ट कर रही है दिल्ली पुलिस, और दक्षिण पश्चिमी जिला भी पूरा प्रयास कर रही है कि अक्यूज़ड को जल्द से जल्द नैप कर दिया जाए। जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन और एज पर लॉ देखा जाए तो जो भी को अक्यूज़ड हैं, चाहे वो वार्डन्स हो, चाहे फैकल्टी हो, या किसी के भी अगेंस्ट अगर एलिगेशन होगा तो इट विल बी प्रोसीडेड एज पर द मेरिट्स ऑफ द केस, एंड सबका रोल अभी एग्जामिन किया जा रहा है।
The search is on. How long will the predator Baba evade the law?
And viewers, sensational new details have emerged in the Dharmasthala mass burial hoax plot. Republic Canada breaks the biggest story. They access details of secret plot that reached the Supreme Court. The masked man and anti-temple Maoist brigade had allegedly tried to approach the Supreme Court and showed them pictures of a skull to target Dharmasthala. However, the Supreme Court has dismissed their plea. So big setback for the conspirators. Here's a full story, specially brought by our team at Republic Canada. The Dharmasthala mass burial hoax case further unravels. Sensational new details emerge in the mass burial hoax plot. Republic has accessed what anti-temple brigade wanted to hide. Masked man and anti-temple Maoist brigade allegedly tried approaching the Supreme Court. However, the Supreme Court dismissed the plea in May, calling it publicity interest litigation and paisa interest litigation. The Supreme Court observed that it is a private and political interest litigation.
This document, which is in my hand, says that before coming to SP office of Dakshina Kannada, this Skull Gang had filed a petition, filed an application to PIL, in fact, had filed an PIL to Supreme Court claiming that there's so many skeletons which have been there in Dharmasthala. But we can see Counsel KV Dhananjay has appeared for this case, and this judgment by Supreme Court says that no FIR has been filed until now to the Supreme Court, and required document has not been submitted. And it also says that the writ petition pertained to the matter which relates to the period 95 to 2004. The petition is filed now in 2025. So on grounds of delay and lack of merits, Supreme Court has rejected this application.
This comes days after the masked man Chinnaya's wife, in an exclusive interview with Republic Kannada, revealed that her husband was coerced by the anti-temple brigade.
ಗಂಡಸು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಚಿನ್ನಯ್ಯ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಧರ್ಮಸ್ಥಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಕೊಲೆಗಳು ಅತ್ಯಾಚಾರಗಳು
ಇವರೇ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಹಾಕಿರೋದು ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು?
ಗ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಟ್ಟಣ್ಣ, ತಿಮ್ಮಾರೆಡ್ಡಿ, ಈ ವಿಠ್ಠಲ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಸಜ್ಜಿ ಏನ್ ನಡೀತದಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಇವ್ರನ್ನ 1-2 ತಿಂಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರೇ ಲಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಡಗಿದ್ರಂತ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯವರನ್ನ?
ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯವ್ರನ್ನ.
With Republic exposing the anti-temple brigade and new details emerging about the Supreme Court dismissing their plea, the lid of the Dharmasthala mass burial hoax has been completely blown off. However, questions remain. Why did Maoist media give a platform to anti-temple brigade? We report Republic TV. And viewers, a big boost to India's defense. India has successfully conducted a test launch of the intermediate range Agni Prime missile from a rail-based mobile launcher system. Now, this marks the first time such a launch has been carried out using a specially designed platform integrated with the National Railway Network. Agni Prime strengthens India's strategic deterrence and mobility. The new system allows the military to launch from anywhere across the country. Here's more.
India has successfully carried out test firing of Agni Prime missile from a rail-based mobile launcher system. The launch was carried out by the Defence Research and Development Organisation. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh hailed the exercise as one of its kind, highlighting the innovation behind the specifically designed rail-based mobile launcher. The missile is designed to cover a range up to 2,000 kilometers and is equipped with various advanced features. It has the capability to move on rail network, allowing the user to have cross-country mobility and launch within a short reaction time with reduced visibility. This successful flight test has put India in the group of select nations having such capabilities.
The Prime Minister Modi inaugurated the Uttar Pradesh International Trade Show 2025 at the India Expo Mart in Greater Noida. That is right, viewers. This marks the first consecutive year of the global trade event, which showcases the state's industrial, agricultural, and innovation-driven achievements. During his speech, PM Modi pushed for self-reliance and Atmanirbharta, while also hailing the new GST reforms, pushing for Make in India and saying India will make everything from chips to ships.
In a mega push to the Make in India campaign, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the third edition of the Uttar Pradesh International Trade Show 2025 at Greater Noida. Prime Minister Modi visited the Uttar Pradesh International Trade Show at Greater Noida under the theme Ultimate Sourcing Begins Here. Over 2,400 exhibitors, 1,25,000 B2B visitors and 4,50,000 B2C visitors are participating in the trade show. The show has three core objectives: innovation, integration and internationalization. A three-pronged buyer strategy that will target international buyers, domestic business-to-business buyers and domestic business-to-consumer buyers, providing opportunities for exporters, small businesses and consumers alike. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke at the Uttar Pradesh International Trade Show in Greater Noida, which showcases the state's rich heritage, robust MSMEs and fast emerging industries.
मुझे खुशी है कि यहाँ 2200 से अधिक एग्जीबिटर्स अपने प्रोडक्ट्स और सर्विसेज का प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं.
Prime Minister Modi said that this year's trade show features Russia as the country partner through which a time-tested partnership is being strengthened.
इस बार ट्रेड शो का कंट्री पार्टनर रूस है. यानी इस ट्रेड शो में हम एक टाइम टेस्टेड पार्टनरशिप को और भी मजबूत कर रहे हैं.
Speaking about India's economic growth, Prime Minister Modi said that India's growth remains attractive despite global disruptions and uncertainties.
आज भारत 2047 तक विकसित होने के लक्ष्य की ओर आगे बढ़ रहा है. दुनिया में हो रही डिसरप्शन और अनसर्टेनिटी के बावजूद भारत की ग्रोथ आकर्षक है.
PM Modi pushed for Atmanirbhar Bharat, stating that everything from chip to ship to be manufactured in India.
आप सभी जानते हैं आज सरकार मेक इन इंडिया पर, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग पर कितना बल दे रही है. हम चिप से शिप तक भारत में बनाना चाहते हैं.
And there was a stalled escalator, teleprompter failure and faulty sound at the UN. President Trump said that he was a victim of three very sinister events during his time at the UN. He added that the Secret Service will be looking into the issues. Now, US President Trump claimed that the technical mishaps were deliberate acts of sabotage. Well, that's what he said. Take a look at this report.
A stalled escalator, a failed teleprompter, and a faulty sound system at the UN. A triple sabotage as claimed by Donald Trump. US President Trump claimed a series of technical mishaps at the United Nations as deliberate acts of sabotage. Trump said a real disgrace took place at the United Nations, not one, not two, but three very sinister events. The first incident happened when the escalator leading to the main speaking floor came to a sudden stop as Trump and his wife started to board. Meanwhile, a teleprompter malfunctioning was witnessed by Trump during his speech. It did not end there. Adding fuel to the fire, an audio issue in the auditorium raised questions of conspiracy. Trump himself appeared to take the mishap in his stride, joking during his UN speech that all he got from the international body was a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter.
Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. And I don't mind making this speech without a teleprompter, because the teleprompter is not working. I feel very happy to be up here with you nevertheless, and that way you speak more from the heart. I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble.
On the other hand, the UN clarified that a safety mechanism might have been triggered by Trump's videographer, who had been traveling backwards up the escalator while the teleprompter belonged to the US delegation itself. But Trump and his officials have refused to take the UN's word for it, believing there was a wider conspiracy afoot. Trump claimed the technical snags were deliberate sabotage and ordered the Secret Service to investigate. In fact, the White House press secretary raised concerns that someone deliberately stopped the escalator. On the other hand, Trump also said he would send a copy of the letter to the UN Secretary General demanding an immediate investigation, and that all security tapes, particularly those related to the escalator emergency stop, be preserved.
Getting us some big breakup is coming in, viewers. FCRA license taken away from Sonam Wangchuk's NGO. That too with immediate effect. And financial irregularities has been cited as the reason. Huge update coming in. Remember, the CBI had launched an inquiry into the violations of the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, also called the FCRA, involving institutions founded by Ladakh-based educationalist and activist Sonam Wangchuk. And now on the latest coming in, the license of the NGO of Wangchuk has now been taken away. Huge update which we're getting for our viewers, because the CBI had said that investigation is pertaining to alleged violations of the Foreign Contributions Regulation Act. And in August, the Ladakh administration had already revoked the land allotment previously granted to the Himalayan Institute of Alternative Learning. And the CBI team, remember, was arriving with an order stating that they were acting on the complaint from the Ministry of Home Affairs concerning the FCRA violation. So that has been happening for a couple of days. But now the latest update is that the FCRA license has been taken away from Sonam Wangchuk's NGO. That too with immediate, I repeat, with immediate effect because of the financial irregularities and which the CBI was probing. So this is back-to-back updates coming in, viewers, on Republic TV. And this is coming in as even Wangchuk had explained to the CBI team that he visited both the HIAL and the Students' Educational and Cultural Movement of Ladakh, seeking details of funds received between 2022 and 2024. And even though the Wangchuk was being questioned, he did say that it was legitimate. However, the big update has come in. That means that there was some kind of issue when it comes to financial irregularities, and FCRA license of Wangchuk's NGO has now been suspended. It has been suspended due to issues which were found in that probe. So this is what you see right now. Back-to-back updates coming in here, Republic TV. And the investigation has now led to this update that you see, which is coming in on screens. The MHA had sent the CBI to probe Sonam Wangchuk in the FCRA case, and the FCRA inquiry was continuing in the HIAL Foundation. That too, it was coming in the backdrop of the protests that we have seen in Ladakh. So the inquiry has been going on for some time, and now we see that there is a big update coming in. The CBI was going ahead and inquiring into these violations of the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act against the Himalayan Institute of Alternatives Ladakh, founded by Wangchuk. Let's go straight across to my colleague Ashwarya is joining us right now. Ashwarya, license suspended. FCRA license has been suspended. Ashwarya, huge update coming in. Just help our viewers understand why this is a significant update.
Well, financial irregularities of the NGO of Sonam Wangchuk FCRA license has been revoked with immediate effect. I repeat, FCRA license of Sonam Wangchuk's NGO has been categorically and unequivocally suspended and revoked with immediate effect. What we are being categorically also told that this is because of financial irregularities, but this is happening just within 24 to 36 hours of the kind of violence we saw in the state or in the Union Territory, and the Home Ministry acting after it, once again very categorically stating or indicating that what happened in the state or in the Union Territory had some direct links with Sonam Wangchuk or with foreign funding. We saw the reports of foreign nationals being a part of the violent protests which took place in trying to instigate the youth of the Union Territory and that part of India. Categorically on the issue of dissatisfaction on the government of India was made. It was being trying to be painted as if once again the youth of this country, which has been termed as the Gen Z, wants to do this or was behind that protest, which was completely wrong. And now more and more details are coming up. And the latest is that Sonam Wangchuk's NGO's FCRA license has been revoked with immediate effect, which once again entails that his NGO cannot take any foreign funding. And all the foreign funding till date, which has been received by Sonam Wangchuk's NGO, is under scrutiny. Every penny, every dollar, every pound, every euro, which has come into his NGO will now be monitored and will be investigated. That is what it is now. And he, from this very moment on, cannot accept no foreign organization, NGO, company can give money to Sonam Wangchuk's NGO. As of now, the FCRA license has been revoked and removed. And once again, I repeat, this is coming out after 24 hours, or rather within 24 hours of the violence which took place there. So once again, dots are being joined, though the government is not categorically blaming Sonam Wangchuk or foreign funding behind it, but we have to join the dots, and it's happening just within 24 hours, giving a clear indication that who is, or rather who was behind, and why the name of the youth of this country has, or rather is being tried to be maligned. Because the youth of this country, youth of India, wants development. Youth of India is not an anarchist. Youth of India does not believe in arson. Youth of India may have dissent, but it will still go the way of discussion and not disruption. Back to you in the studios.
Yeah, stay with me, Aishwarya. This is a big breaking news update. In fact, Aishwarya, the center had issued a statement yesterday. We had the MHA categorically say that it was he who instigated the riots. In fact, there are many videos in which he's heard that Ladakh will rise like it happened in Nepal, like it happened in Bangladesh, like it happened in many other countries in the recent past. Wangchuk has been under scanner. It's not the first time that Wangchuk has come under scanner. He has been under scanner. Many people were asking, perhaps it's a little too late, because his NGOs, his activities have been under investigation for several years now.
Well, absolutely, several years, because even if you remember, Niranjan, during the farmer protest, he wanted to take out a yatra right from his home to the Prime Minister's residence, crossing and taking the support from the farmers. That was not allowed. From that very movement, Government of India and specifically MHA has been keeping a tag on him, has been keeping a tap on him. As you mentioned, is it too little too late? Should this have happened if even 24 hours prior, then the violence could have been prevented if he is the man behind the violence in the state or in the Union Territory. But the facts still remain that he is not the only one. That is what our sources are categorically telling us. There are more leaders, there are more NGOs, there are more people. It is not only about Sonam Wangchuk. Sonam Wangchuk might have been one of the people who might have helped instigate the youth or try to blame the youth of Ladakh being behind or having grow discontent against the central government and their decisions. But the fact is that was not only Sonam Wangchuk, and at this point of time, only his FCRA license has been taken aback. Only his FCRA license. There is no action against his other companies and him personally as of now. What we are being told, there are other angles which are also being which are also being categorically investigated. In fact, there are 3 cases which are pending against him right now. That's what we are being told after the violence, because as you said, there are at least half a dozen videos in which he can be heard openly instigating the youth of the state. There are also other cases now which are being filed against him because it is not only about him. He was in touch with several other individuals who are politically active in different political parties, regional and national. We saw the BJP putting out a picture of a youth Congress leader right out there and saying that he is the man who is helping Sonam Wangchuk. And now this, so we are being told that this is just the beginning. The other faces, the other people who were trying to act as leaders but were instigating the youth of that region completely wrongly and against the government. Against the government for what reasons? You have dissent, come and discuss. You want to protest, there is a way to protest. Doing arson, destroying public property is something which is completely against the state. And the way it was done, calling a Nepal kind of a situation in India is something which cannot be accepted. We have discussed this, Ranjan, that the youth of this country may or may not have his own viewpoint on certain political issues. They may have a dissent, they may agree, they may dissent, they may vary from the decision being taken by the government of the day. But that does not mean that the youth of this country wants to arson. The youth of this country, yes, we have every right to protest, and the youth of this country can protest, but once again, there is a way to protest. And the way these protests, these violent protests, these are not, this is arson, this was not a protest. The way it was planned, it was very categorically done. It was well-planned arson, it was well-planned destruction of government offices, of public property, and that is why we are being told this is just step number 1. And we saw the information which came in yesterday as well, that the youth, the government is not blaming the youth, because the government understands that they have been deliberately instigated with wrong information and malign intent of whose Niranjan at least a half a dozen leader. Sonam Wangchuk is just one of them. His NGO's FCRA license has been taken away. But there are at least 5 or 6 senior leaders from that very region who are connected with regional and central leadership. And that is why I am saying this is just the beginning. But it is a message to all of those leaders, because in Delhi, we've seen Rahul Gandhi raising up and calling the Gen Z to come out and then protect. So all of them need to understand that the youth whom they term as Gen Z does not want this arson. They may dissent, they may like, they may dislike, but they are not pro-violence. There is a way to protest, there is a way to express your dissent, if at all. Back to you, Niranjan.
Okay, one last question. How is the Home Ministry looking at it from the law and order angle? Because there were reports that they were planning protests also in Kargil. We got some information that there were plans to perhaps, stage some demonstration in Kargil, especially on Friday. So on that front, how seriously is the government taking this from a law and order perspective?
Zero tolerance, no more protests, peaceful protests in every city, in every district in India, Niranjan. Only in certain cases, 18 districts in this country where there is no designated spot for a protest. Otherwise, in every district in this country, there is a particular place, a particular corner, a particular road, including that of Lutyens, Delhi. There is a place where you can protest. If you want to protest, there is a place where you can protest. There is a place where you can take out a march. But if they want to replicate what they did 24 hours prior in Ladakh, that is something which is not going to be allowed either in Jammu and Kashmir or any other part of the country.
Okay, thank you for that, Aishwarya. I have RP Singh of the BJP joining us as we get political reactions to the story as well. The BJP alleged a Congress hand in the protests. RP Singh, Sonam Wangchuk NGO's FCRA license has been suspended, which means the foreign funding will now perhaps stop.
Well, very important and very necessary it was that if he is going to use the foreign funding to instigate people here and to create ruckus here and to create unrest here, that's not allowed. That's not possible in any country, in any democracy. There are videos on record where he is asking people to come and wear masks and put a headgear so that they can be recognized. And then he's on record just 3 days ago, he was doing so. So obviously there was a game plan, and then Congress president and Congress corporators have held a press conference where Congress corporator was saying that we will burn BJP office and we will ensure that no one from the BJP goes light. I mean, that sort of language was probably used by the Congress spokesperson in a press conference, and there are videos on record to prove that. So all this lead to action, and government has taken a timely action, because if you are allowed for a foreign funding, it can't be misused for all such nefarious objectives.
Yeah. You see, he seems to, have been the prime candidate for someone who would want to, use the toolkit to target India, right? Very similar to Yunus. He and Mohammad Yunus, by the way, are very close. They've met a couple of times. Not to, of course, directly allege any similarities there. But it was clear that maybe he had, he was being spoken to by a few political parties. There were other people perhaps in touch with him, because you see what Kejriwal has said today. Kejriwal says what has happened in Ladakh today will happen across the country. In fact, there are some sound bites coming in. I think Sonam Wangchuk is speaking. If we have that, let's cut to it. Let's cut to it.
आरोप प्रत्यारोप का ये खेल खेलें, ये अच्छा नहीं लगता। ये बहुत दुख की बात है कि हम अपने सर से जिम्मेदारी हटाकर किसी, जैसे कहते हैं ना, स्केप गोट, बलि का बकरा बना के उस पे मर दें। ऐसा खेल हमें नहीं खेलना चाहिए। ये चतुराई ज़रूर है मगर समझदारी नहीं है। क्लेवर मूव बट नॉट विजडम। इस समय हमें विजडम की ज़रूरत है। हम साथ में बैठ के सोचें कि इन बच्चों की क्या ऐसी विवशता थी कि वो सड़कों पे इस तरह से निकल आए, और उसे सुलझाएं तो सब सुलझेगा। ये सीमा शांत होगी, ये देश प्रगति करेगा। ना कि हम इसने किया उसने किया, मैंने कुछ नहीं किया, मैं तो अच्छा हूँ बोलें। क्योंकि सच्चाई ये है कि ये बच्चे बहुत परेशान से थे। आज ही नहीं, 2 महीने से नहीं, 5 सालों से, बल्कि 6 सालों से ये अनएम्प्लॉयड थे, जॉबलेस। और इनके जो अरमान थे कि लोकतंत्र होगा नए लद्दाख में, वो भी नहीं हुए। कि संरक्षण होगा 6वें शेड्यूल में, वो भी नहीं हुए। बातचीत पे बातचीत घसीटते जा रहे थे, नतीजा कुछ नहीं निकल रहा था। अब मुझ पे दोष देने लगे थे यही युवा कि आपका शांति का पथ किसी काम का नहीं है। अपनी शांति आप अपने साथ, एक मिनट, आप अपनी शांति का पथ अपने साथ रखिएगा, हम अपने हाथ में लेंगे। ऐसा मुझे बुरा भला कहने लग चुके थे। तो ये बहुत दुर्भाग्य की बात है। सबसे बड़ी बात ये हम माने, और अभी इनकी लाशें वहीं हैं और इस पे हम आरोप प्रत्यारोप। आप सोचिए, क्या ये अच्छा लगता है किसी भी देश में कि सरकार किसी एक को चुन के, किसी एक पार्टी को इसने किया, और जो कमियां हमसे रह गई इस गवर्नेंस में, इस सिस्टम में, उनको हम बिल्कुल नज़रअंदाज कर दें, तो फिर दोबारा ये उठेगा।
आप किसको अकाउंटेबल मानते हैं? क्योंकि आपको मैं तब से फॉलो कर रहा हूँ, बहुत लंबा समय। आपको तमाम लोग इंस्पिरेशन के तौर पर भी वांगचुक साहब देखते हैं। आपको याद होगा मैंने आपका पहला इंटरव्यू किया था जब आप लद्दाख भवन में प्रोटेस्ट पर बैठे थे। जी। आप दीवार के ऊपर चढ़ के मुझे इंटरव्यू दे रहे थे एनआई के बैनर तले ही, और इस समय मैं आपका इंटरव्यू कर रहा हूँ। दोनों में जमीन आसमान का अंतर है। एक समय आप शांति के पथ पर तमाम लोगों को बढ़ा रहे थे और आज उल्टा आरोप लग रहा है मगर पथ वही है मेरा। तो मैं किसी को जिम्मेदार नहीं ठहराना चाहता हूं, मगर एक सच्चाई भी है ना कि 2020 से हमें वादा दिया गया कि आपको 6ठे शेड्यूल में संरक्षित किया जाएगा। खासकर इन नौजवानों को ये वादा दिया गया था कि 21,000 नौकरियां निकलेंगी, फिर 6,000 नौकरियां निकलेंगी, और निकला कुछ भी नहीं, ना के बराबर। शायद अभी हाल ही में 1,500 नौकरियां निकले होंगी। वो बिल्कुल बेरोजगार हैं। आप समझ रहे हैं, घर पे जाओ तो वो माँ बाप की टोक सुनते थे, बाहर जाओ तो बेकार हैं, दोस्तों में शर्मिंदा हैं।
ऐसे में वो भड़क कर बाहर आ गए। वो बाहर कभी नहीं आते थे, बल्कि ये जो आंदोलन चल रहा था, इन सब लोगों की एक शिकायत थी कि ये युवा पीढ़ी बहुत मतलबी हैं, अपने घरों में घुसे रहते हैं, बाहर नहीं आते हैं, क्योंकि इनको डर है कि सरकार इनके चेहरों की तस्वीर लेगी और इंटरव्यूज़ में इन्हें हैरेस करेगी। तो ये कभी नहीं निकलते थे। अचानक कल ऐसे निकल आए, ये किसी का मतलब इमेजिनेशन में भी नहीं था।
क्या आपको पहले इस बात का इल्म नहीं था कि ये जो प्रोटेस्ट आप हंगर स्ट्राइक कर रहे थे वो इस तरह का रूप ले लेगी?
बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं। हम इतना कह रहे थे, कल के लिए ये बातचीत चल रही थी, फैसला।
आपने जेनजी सब का नाम लिया, आपने नेपाल के उस रिवॉल्यूशन का भी एग्जाम्पल दिया जिसमें उग्र प्रदर्शन किए गए, हिंसक प्रदर्शन किए गए, नेपाल के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर डेंट कराया गया, नेपाल की डेमोक्रेसी खतरे में आ गई। तमाम आरोप और उस तरीके की बात को आप इंडोर्स करते हुए दिखाई
नहीं, 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 ऐसा मत कहिए इंडोर्स करते। जब ये हो चुका था, पहली बात तो कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि आपने ऐसा कह के इंसाइट किया। जब ये हो चुका था, मैंने तब एक अपडेट दिया जिसमें मैंने कहा कि ये हिंसा निंदनीय है, शब्द था निंदनीय है, मैं बहुत दुखी हूँ, इससे आप हमारा समर्थन नहीं बल्कि हमारी बदनामी कर रहे हैं। और फिर मैंने कहा कि ये अचानक से बिना किसी पहले के उसके अचानक से ऐसे हजारों में युवा निकल गए, मानो जैसे जेनजी रेवोल्यूशन सा हो, ऐसा एक शब्द निकल गया। वैसे मैं जेनजी प्रयोग नहीं करता हूँ, अब ये बच्चे खुद को करते हैं तो इसलिए शायद मेरे मुंह से निकला, वरना हमें जेनजी से इतना छूत-अछूत भी नहीं होना चाहिए। ऐसा कोई शब्द में तो बुराई नहीं है, पता नहीं कुछ लोगों को इतना क्यों लगता है, मैं भी यूज़ नहीं करता हूँ, मगर कल ये मैंने सिर्फ इसका वर्णन करते हुए कहा, ऐसा एक हालात हो गया लद्दाख में जिससे हम सब दुखी हैं। ये होने के बाद का अपडेट है, आप जाके देख सकते हैं।
आपने कभी ऐसा लद्दाख देखा था?
नहीं भी नहीं कहूँगा। जब हम जम्मू कश्मीर में थे तो यूटी का मांग करते हुए ऐसा ही एक हिंसक आंदोलन हुआ था 89 में, 89 में, मगर इस हद का नहीं था। ये बहुत ही अजीब अंदाज का, यहाँ कोई नहीं रोक पा रहा था। आपको पता है आज हमारे जो एपेक्स बॉडी है लद्दाख की, उसका यूथ विंग, उनके लीडर्स को धरपकड़ कर रही है सरकार, घरों से जाके उनको पकड़ रहे हैं। सच्चाई ये है कि वो बेचारे जाकर गाड़ियों से लाउड स्पीकर से उनको मनाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे कि आप ये मत कीजिए, हमारा काम ये नहीं है, मगर उन पे ही पथराव होने का डर था। ऐसे ही हमारे वरिष्ठ नेता थुप्तन जी और सेरिंग जी भी वहाँ गए मैदान में उनको रोकने के लिए, कोई किसी की सुन ही नहीं रहा था, पागलपन सा भूत सा सवार था उन पे।
तो वांगचू साहब, किसी को गिरफ्तार ना किया जाए, किसी को अकाउंटेबल ना बनाया जाए, किसी के ऊपर अकाउंटेबिलिटी फिक्स ना किए जाए, कहा जाए कि ये सरकार की गलती है?
नहीं, ऐसा तो नहीं। हिंसा को तो हम कभी भी सही नहीं ठहरा सकते हैं। कानून को अपना रास्ता लेना चाहिए, कोर्स लॉ जो कहते हैं, तो जो गलत हैं उन्हें सज़ा होनी चाहिए। मगर साथ ही साथ मैं कहूँगा जो फोर्सेस हैं, सहानुभूति है उनके साथ भी कि पथराव हुआ, उन्हें भी लगा होगा, मगर उन्होंने जिस तरह से सर में लोगों के दिमाग निकाल दिए, छाती से गोली गई, फेफड़े फोड़ दिए, ये कैसी फौज है जो अपने ही नागरिकों को इस तरह से मारने के लिए। हाँ, साधारणतः ऐसे रायट्स में आप पैरों पे गोलियां मारते हैं, और जब कभी बिल्कुल खतरा बढ़ जाए, आपकी जान पे आ जाए, तो शूटिंग ऑर्डर्स लेते हैं, तब करते हैं आप। जब आपकी जान पे आए तो आप शूट करेंगे। यहाँ तो किसी भी सैनिक दस्ते का, अर्धसैनिक दस्ते का कोई हताहत नहीं हुए, और इस तरफ से 4 और शायद 2-3 और जाएं, तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि इसमें गलत आउट ऑफ प्रोपोर्शन फोर्स का यूज़ किया गया। इतना भारी, जैसे दुश्मन को आप जंग में मार रहे हैं, ऐसे अपने नागरिकों को मारना एक अच्छी सरकार की निशानी नहीं है।
In fact, Republic has accessed the order of the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, the Foreigners Division Monitoring Unit. We have the copy revoking the FCRA license. The copy has been accessed by Republic TV. I'm going to put it out right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the picture with me. It is with us right now, and there are different facts that have been taken into consideration. Abhishek Kapoor breaking the story with the details of the copy. The copy says, considering the facts and position narrated in preceding paras, competent authority in exercise of the powers conferred under different sections of the Act cancels with immediate effect the FCRA certificate of registration granted to the Association Students Educational and Cultural Movement of Ladakh, or SECMOL. SECMOL order copy with Republic, which has revoked the FCRA license of Sonam Wangchuk's NGO. In fact, it has gone into details of the investigation, the findings of the ministry. The findings of the ministry suggest that the reply of the association is not tenable, and there are details of the financials of SECMOL, the NGO run by Sonam Wangchuk. Speaks about a sum of 3.5 lakh rupees received from Sonam Wangchuk as foreign donation. However, it is stated by the association in its clarification that the amount is sale proceeds of old bus procured from FCRA fund. Although credit entry of this much amount is not found in FCRA account of the association, it seems that the amount has been received in cash in violation of Section 17 of the Act, which is not properly disclosed by association in its reply. So, in this particular paragraph, the MHA states that FCRA was received in cash, foreign contribution, foreign funding, significant amount received in cash in different years, and during financial year 2020-2021, local funds were deposited in the FCRA account of the association by 3 individuals in violation of Section 17 of the Act. And another observation was found that as per information available for different years, association had received an amount from a foreign donor, and the detail of the donor is also mentioned. This was in the year 2020, and the finding of the ministry is that the association in its reply admitted that the donor organization had given the donation for study on sovereignty of the country, including some topics and fund that had also been spent in line with the objectives of the foreign donors. So basically suggesting that Sonam Wangchuk's NGO carried out foreign bidding in some capacity. Foreign contribution cannot be accepted for study on sovereignty of the nation. This act of the association is against. We'll put out the order copy. We have the order copy. Can we please pull that out? We'll pull that out and play it right now. We have a copy. I have Savio Rodriguez. We have a copy of the order. Can we please put the last page of the order that's already out? We'll put that on the screen. Savio Rodriguez is also joining us. Savio, Sonam Wangchuk's NGO, and I have the full copy with me. This shows that there were different transactions that came in, right? Different transactions that came in were questionable. Very interesting part I found here in the last, it's a detailed study, detailed copy in a report. It talks about how there was a study also that was carried out by SECMOL, which was an NGO run by Sonam Wangchuk. And they took donation for a study on sovereignty of the country, sovereignty of the nation. And the observation is that this is obviously illegal. And there are indications that they were perhaps carrying out the bidding of some country. That's what the report suggests.
Niranjan, let us look at Sonam Wangchuk in the reality of what Sonam Wangchuk is. A lot of people on social media and other parts of media are comparing him to Sarjeel Imam and Umar Khalid. He's neither Sarjeel Imam or Umar Khalid. Sonam Wangchuk is very clinical. He's very planned, he's very meticulous, and he has a manner in which he has taken his agenda, his intent, his communication, not only to the people within Ladakh, but also people across India and across the world. He is, in a nutshell, in my opinion, very similar to what you have in Bangladesh, the interim government leader in Bangladesh at this point of time.
Yeah.
And that is the fine, subtle nuance of a gentleman like Sonam Wangchuk. Now, you see the conversation Sonam Wangchuk had with ANI, and you can understand from his mannerism the intent and the subtlety of the nuance play that he's bringing into play as far as the conflict in Ladakh is concerned at this point of time.
Well, just be with me. I'm just coming back to you. Just sorry to interrupt you there. I have Mr. S.P. Vaid, who's the former DGP of Jammu and Kashmir, right? He knows a thing or two about Sonam Wangchuk. That's the copy. We're just zooming into that. The copy here mentions, Mr. Vaid, that a donor organization has given the donation, different outcomes of the study that was conducted on Sonam Wangchuk's NGO. One of the aspects mentioned in the report by the MHA is that they also took donation to study sovereignty of the country. I'm wondering, why would an NGO do a study on sovereignty of a country?
That shows his true color. Is he the Muhammad Yunus of India? Let that be inquired into. And I am glad that MHA has cancelled his license. If there are undisclosed entries and the money trail, where is that money that has come in his account? That needs to be, I think, thoroughly investigated. And the way I have seen the way he is hugging Muhammad Yunus, that photo is viral on the social media. His visit to Pakistan, he appreciating Arab Spring, appreciating the Zenzi regime change in Nepal and regime change in Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Doesn't that sound little fishy? And his speak of his past behavior. I think all these needs is a matter of inquiry and must be looked into by the investigating agency or whatever commission that goes into these details.
Sir, but you've been a DGP there, sir, of Jammu and Kashmir, right? You mentioned a couple of sound bites. He's heard saying in one particular sound bite, he's heard saying that we used to block China. Our shepherds used to block China before, but now if Chinese come, we will allow them into China. We will allow them into India. That is our mood, is what he has said on record. Now, that gives away the plot. And yesterday he mentioned how Ladakhis are inspired. They should follow the Nepal-Bangladesh model. You spoke of a picture of him with Muhammad Yunus. They have something in common. He's also a Magsaysay awardee, right? Now, these people are who you typically call are puppets, perhaps. We don't know. But when you were the DGP, what did you notice about him?
No, during my DGP-ship, nothing came about him. But now what I'm hearing, I think it's not very pleasant to digest all these activities. They do indicate, and I've been watching him for last few years, the kind of statements which are coming, I think that speaks of his mindset. I think a thorough investigation needs to be done into all the aspects of his dealing, and let that be placed before the people of Ladakh and people of the country.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, sir. Thank you for joining us. And I also have the copy here with me. The copy is here with me, and let me just show you the copy. The last line here. The last line here which says that the FCRA certificate of registration has been cancelled. That's with us right now. It's a little illegible. So we'll put that out. We'll make a graphic out of it, and we'll put that out right now. Going back to Savio Rodriguez. Savio was talking about Sonam Wangchuk. Well, I have to say that most people got carried away by who Sonam Wangchuk was or pretended to be, looking at the kind of allegations that are now emerging. You were talking about the pattern, Savio.
Niranjan, I'm saying that again. Most people who were led by Sonam Wangchuk, not only in Ladakh, but rest of India and the rest of the world, many of them still continue to believe in Sonam Wangchuk. And that's going to be the problem as we go ahead. Because my reading into this gentleman will tell you that this gentleman is going to act as a martyr. He's going to act as somebody that has nothing to do with the instigation. In fact, in his interview with ANI, which you just